without further ado, I'm going to jump into the show here. Hey, how's it going, guys? We're the Story Crafters. My name is Jeff. We have Charlie, Nicole, and Jared with us as usual. We are the Story Crafters. How the heck are you guys? It's been a while.
Man.
Yeah, good.
For sure.
Here.
We're just jumping in.
I love it.
I know we all have a bunch of stuff to get talking to. I want to talk to Charlie about Gary Con. I want to talk to Nicole about your book. And Jared, can you tell us anything else about your secret project that you're doing? We're gonna find out here, guys, on today's episode of the Story Crafters, and let's roll initiative.
Oh baby. I just really quick shout out at Goshen and Dragons. I got this beautiful dice that you might not be able to see. Those of you who are watching, it's from Third Watch Dice. It's beautiful. Liz and Kira kill it. Definitely look them up on Instagram. Third Watch Dice. And that's a 15 for me, which has to be a record.
That
wow.
Is, yeah, I'm back to my usual. Got a 3.
Nice.
I just rolled and I got a 3 too.
Oh no.
I got a 9.
A 9.
All right, well, Charlie, you two still have to do rollies.
Rollies. Somebody's gonna get a 20.
14.
I got a 2.
All right, so
all right,
I'm gonna go a little before you. What do we got here? We got Nicole, Jared, me, or Jared, Nicole, me, Charlie.
Yeah, Jared's up first.
All right.
I know it feels weird even saying that out loud, doesn't it? That I'm going first.
I had to think that was like, wait, no, is that possible? Look, your dice were cursed.
I didn't think so. I didn't. Well, that's why I had to buy a new one. It works. Third Watch Dice.
Thank you, Third Watch Dice.
Third Watch Dice.
Woohoo!
But yeah, so I've actually gotten to play D&D a couple times now since the last time, which I'd been on a dry spell of like a month and a half. First of which was Goshen Dragons, which was an awesome event. Talked several times about it, so I won't belabor it. But it was an awesome day. I got to DM a one shot, just a 2-hour one shot, and then I'm staff, so I worked the event the rest of the day. So it was nice that they let me escape for a little bit, but I got to run it. It was based on an antique mall, so my players encountered some mimics, some animated rugs, an animated broom, and some other perilous similar items like that. It was a lot of fun. And then this past Friday, I finally got to dive back into my homebrew world, session 33 of the Abyssal Tide. Unusual feat for us. We made it through an entire session without any combat, which for my group is a pretty big deal. And I even presented it a few times of the opportunity, the hook is there, you can take it. And they're like, oh, let's just keep moving. And it was so bizarre to me, but it was so much fun. It was a great time. My players landed in what little, it's civilized is maybe a push, but a small fishing village called Dusk Reach. Which I always enjoy. I always enjoy getting to drop my players in, a town or village or something, just because there's so many things going on. There's so many different directions that they can choose to go and all that. It was a really, really fun time. Had a player basically, which we had been working on, over the last few months, kind of decide hey, I think I'm kind of done with the story of this character, and was ready to introduce a new one. So we saw that character, they sailed off into the sunset, or sunrise, technically. So next session, we'll get to introduce a new character for them. So that was kind of fun. That was a first for me of just having a character be hey, you know what? This character story, I think, is done. They didn't meet an untimely fate, which was great. And so we set it up that if they choose that they could, change their mind and they want to come back, we kind of left the story open of we might see this character again, which is fun. Beyond that, I've still been crafting, and much to everybody's dismay, I still can't really talk about it, but it's due really soon.
One day.
So really soon, I will get to talk publicly and share pictures and everything about it. It's getting really close. Very happy with it.
This is episode 8, and we still don't know what's going on. So for those listening in the future, this is agony for us right now.
Yeah. And the question is, Jared,
it's not just you in suspense, it's all of us.
All of us.
It's getting to the point where, if you're starting to question, am I actually doing anything? I think that's valid. But no, I'm staring at it though. It's over there. But beyond that,
Turn your camera.
yeah, that's what I've
Come
been
on,
to.
man.
Yeah. Let me just no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's been
What a
me.
tease.
Nicole, what's been going on with you?
Seriously, man.
Oh, yeah. Guys, I am exhausted. Those of y'all that are watching will notice that I'm not in cosplay today. I don't even have ears on today, but I am rocking a really cool shirt. Let's see if y'all can see it.
Ooh,
Two black
Hey.
a little D4.
nice. With a D4.
Love
There we
it.
Yeah. Shout out
I
to
love that.
Bear Games designed this shirt, and it's for sale on his Etsy, and I love it. So I am repping the nerddom. I'm just not in cosplay because Mom is really tired today, so it didn't happen. But I have been working crazy hard on my launch for my book. It's finally happening. We are launching on Kickstarter on May 1st. So May 1st through the 31st is going to be when the Kickstarter is open for people to buy the different reward tiers or back reward tiers. I don't know what you're supposed to say when you do a Kickstarter.
I'm sleeping in the hallway. I'm sleeping in the hallway
Just
next
a
to
moment.
the living room.
That's okay. Is he
Oh.
asleep?
And
it'll
now for a
definitely be linked.
commercial break.
I know, right?
Getting back to bed.
Speaking of children and children's books,
My lovely children make an appearance. Yeah. That's the real reason why I'm so tired right there. Is
ain't
that
that the truth?
Have you ever wished that
little
you could
babies.
cast silence on your offspring? Well,
Oh my god. More of mass entanglement.
I was just thinking the sleep spell would be sufficient, but you guys
Sleep
took it to
spells,
another
sleep
level.
spells be good.
any
can
of those
also-
would be fine.
You can also utilize the real life hypnotic pattern known as Bluey.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
listen,
that'll work on me.
it also works for me. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a
Me
good
and
one.
Bandit, we're like, right there. Me and Bandit, we get each other.
Stay tuned
Nicole.
later for a bonus episode where we all talk about Bluey.
Nicole, tell
We,
us a little more about your launch. What's going
plot
on with
twist
that?
turns into
What
a
do you got
Bluey
different
one-shot.
things on your Kickstarter? What you got going on with it?
Yes. Okay. So the Kickstarter
Like herding
launch
cats.
of the book is going to be May 1st through the 31st, and got a lot of exciting reward tiers that I'll probably talk a little bit more about next time. But the big thing that we're doing right now for the month of April is our pre-launch. April is like the big pre-launch month for me for the book, and just going to be doing a bunch of promoting and marketing and talking about it and getting it hyped up. Also, I'm offering a couple options for pre-launch pledges. So these pledges are either $1 or $5. So not a huge investment. And they both get you on the priority notification email list that I'm going to send out. So you make sure you get all the news and all the good stuff for when it's actually live in May. The $1 option also comes with the character sheet instant download. If anybody still wants the character sheet and hasn't picked it up, you can get that now for $1.
That's so good.
Hey.
So good, yes, it's so good. And then the $5 option, which is actually really legit, and at least 2 out of 3 of the people here have already purchased it. So we're just waiting on you, Jeff.
No names, but we all know who you are.
Anyway, the $5 pre-launch pledge is really cool because you still get the character sheet, you still get on the priority list, but you also get a 20% off coupon that applies to any tier that you buy when the Kickstarter goes live in May. So if you buy the highest tier, that 20% off is actually going to be like a $10 value. If you buy the lowest tier, it's going to be like a $2 value. So, you could actually like make some money on this if you're going to buy the super high tier. So
It's really foolish not to pledge at the $5 tier, because really, you're just wasting your own money.
There's a
Right? You gotta get that coupon code. And on top of that, you also get an entry into a raffle for our giveaway of the legendary tier, which is like the whole shebang package. It's the deluxe hardcover of the book, the standard hardcover, the digital copy, the animated short film, and a special other thing that I haven't announced yet. But you'll get put in the raffle for the giveaway for all of that also for your $5 pledge. So.
And, you know, I really did mean this to be like this intentionally. I just pledged at $5, guys, and I can confirm it is not a scam.
Yeah.
This is the best $5 I've ever spent in my life. This was all planned from the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
We'll now have an intentional moment of silence while you pause the podcast and you guys all go pledge, and then we'll still be here when you come right back.
There we go.
Hey, audience, listen here. Come here. Okay? Come here. We're going to talk for a second. There's two tiers. You can pledge now and support an awesome creator and a great book. Okay? It's a no-brainer. All right? If you were going to buy a sub for $5, why would you not pledge for $5 and get 20% off? So will we ever offer you that? No.
This is awesome.
All they give you is disappointment. Nicole, Game Master Mom's not going to do that. She's going to deliver. And you get entered into a raffle. No brainer. Come on. Go ahead. We're going to wait.
Do it.
Go to our Instagram.
Do it.
Right there in the bio. Click the link. Yep. Good job. Good job. Scroll down past $1. Go to the $5. There you go. Click easy. Enter your info. We've all done it here. It takes 30 seconds. I mean, Jeff did it while we were talking about it. You can do it too.
Johnny,
and I say this
right now
with the most kindness in my heart. If Jeff can do it, anybody can do it.
Jared will not be continuing on this podcast going forward.
I had a good run, guys.
Look, Jared, between baiting us with the terrain, the surprise, and now that.
Oh my god! For these reasons, we have voted you off the island.
Normally it's 3 strikes, but these are D&D rules. That second one was a nat 1 counted as 2.
It's clear that we all love this book that's coming out, and we fully give Nicole all of our support, and you guys should too. So
yeah, thank you guys.
I'm
really excited. Really excited about it, and just looking forward to May to really get the real thing going, and
that's so exciting.
Honestly, by the time this episode comes out, the book will be done, but it's very close to being done right now. I've got a couple little tweaks and edits to do, but it's ready. It's ready to go to print, so it's not going to be you fund a Kickstarter and you don't see anything for once. You should get it by the end of the summer at the latest. So I always think that's exciting when you buy something and then you actually get it the same year. That's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been hesitant. I'll be honest. I don't really do Kickstarters that much because I'm pretty hesitant with them because I've just heard of horror stories of people backing them and then the whole project falling through and the dude being a scammer and stuff. It's ooh. Yeah. But this book is not that.
No, and it can get really sketchy, and I totally get people's reservations with it, but I think this one's going to be good. I'm excited.
I know we're all excited to read it. That's for sure.
Yes. Also, I've been up to a few other things. I'm working more on ethereal lore stuff for the game that's going to come out later, probably, hopefully winter, maybe before Christmas, and doing a little bit of Jedi lightsaber training lately, so
yeah,
in my spare time.
We'll need to see progress of your Obi Annie spin.
Yeah, it's not going great.
Listen, that needs to be down by the time the book is mailed out to people. That needs to be the companion that's your goal. So you have till summertime.
I think that's fair. I think I could do that. Yeah, I'll take that bet. I'll take it.
I say, being someone who cannot even a tiny bit do the OB any spin.
I was gonna say, Jared is out here just like laying stuff out.
As Anakin says,
Look.
this is where the fun begins. Oh,
Oh,
man.
all right. Who's next? Charlie?
I think no, I think I am because I beat Charlie in
Okay.
the roll off. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Jeff. What you been up to?
I got to play D&D again finally after we did a
Oh.
month and a half break due to scheduling and sicknesses. But we did finally we did session 3 of the new campaign here, which
Nice.
was a really good one for lore. From my side, I'm running like a parallel campaign to one that I put a pause on, and I went back about 5 months in time and am starting to drop these little like lore nuggets. And there's a couple things that like some of my players are like, wait, did he wait. Like they do like the Leonardo DiCaprio, which is really funny because I had one player that was like, you guys all wrote that down, right? Like it was just really funny. Had a more intense combat than they're used to at level 2, to kind of,
Okay.
I don't know. I have really smart players that they're very tactical, and I had one guy. He's never played D&D before, but he plays a lot of like strategy stuff. I thought he was trying to get the flank on one NPC, but it turns out he just happened to position himself so perfectly that I thought it was for that one, but no, it was intended for a different one that I completely forgot about. That's how good of a tactician him and this other player strategize, like put themselves in this. I was like, wow, that was amazing. And I really hope you get a great role on this. So that was really encouraging that like all these, like he's never played before and he's like really getting into it. Leaning into his kind of mysterious character that he is, and it had a very, very good like rule of cool until it's not moment. Like they basically they came across this group of what they're called Emberheart Flame Seekers, that I called them. Basically they're this like ethereal, think Lord of the Rings when the elves are leaving Middle Earth and they're in the woods, right? Except not good guys, right? So, but it's like that. But if one of them turns and sees you, that you get marked. And this is spoilers for my players who potentially might hear this before the next time we play. But that's fun because then that means you support the show, and you can get all the spoilers if you support the show. But so they get one of them got marked. One of them got marked, and it's still on them. They don't know that, but they had this encounter where the captain of this like line and our paladin went and had this thing, and it was in this Fey themed forest. So he tried to offer a trade, and I was like, okay, we're in the Fey, this could work. You're only level 2. What could you possibly have to trade, right? So we did this whole dialogue, and it took me about 2 sentences for me to realize he's stalling. And he was hoping that the other players picked up on it, and they did. So I was like, okay, hang on. I see what you're doing. I'm going to change the role I just had you do because I think this is going to be really cool. And I hope that this works out for you. And this just goes to show that playing tabletop games is not a player versus DM game. It is a collective storytelling experience. And it was super cool because they didn't get a surprise round, because they didn't pass their stealth checks enough to get good positioning, but they did get the positioning. And it was like, okay, like technically probably shouldn't have been able to, but I saw what you were doing. It was really cool, and it made for some really cool storytelling. So that's what I've been up to. And painting and crafting. I bought a lot of like MDF sci-fi terrain, and put that together the other day, and slowly working towards that. And there's talk in my wargaming group about maybe playing some Star Wars stuff. So who knows what's happening
Yeah,
on that
dude.
front?
I've been
Who knows?
seeing
That's
some
my
of the
first
minis
love.
you posted.
So, oh yeah, that's Warhammer
They
stuff.
look
but
awesome.
I'm getting into the.
Look
I've got
awesome.
a. Thank you. I've got a massive print log that I'm about to do. Now that it's getting warmer, I can do some of my bigger prints. So, got some fun monsters to do.
Hey.
Nice.
Man, Charlie, tell us what we all want to talk about. How was Gary Con,
Yeah.
man?
So I'm gonna pull a Jared and say Gary Con was awesome. I have a lot to talk about. I'll talk a little bit. I'll touch a little bit on it during the third-party content because I've got a lot of really cool third-party content stuff that I found out about at Gary Con that I'm going to share. But yeah, I'll share everything else. We're going to do a side quest podcast, special episode, just to talk about Gary Con and answer all the questions. Maybe we can field some questions
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
on the Instagram. You know, get some in there from our lovely audience and crew. But yeah, everything from seeing Vince Vaughn and Tom Morello and hanging out at Jason Charles Miller's acoustic set and all the cool people that I got to meet and everything. It was a great time, and happy to talk all about it in detail. But yeah, other than that, and shout out again to Mike at the Weather Dragon for having me come along to help promote his booth and talk about the awesome game tables that he's got. They are the best. Hands down. I was telling I would be sitting there and talking to people and telling them all about it, and sometimes you would see people just kind of go, sure, kind of feels like a salesperson at the dealership telling me about the car, and I kind of look at him and go, I don't work for Mike, right? Like, I don't make these tables or anything. I'm a professional GM. I've done a lot of games at his tables. Just he wanted me to come along and talk about the experience there, and then people would drop their guard and they'd be like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting a commission or anything. Like, I'm just here because I love these tables so much. And
nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, I honestly, because I traveled to that and it was gone for so long, I've not had any D&D games other than the one that I played there. However, I am excited. I'm going to be joining a friend of mine's campaign and going to be a player for the first time in the campaign in a couple of years now. So that's really exciting. And I'm really excited because, as I've talked about in our previous stuff quite a bit about my homebrew setting adventures after an Arcane Apocalypse, I talk a lot about the setting and everything else. Something that I don't talk too much about, and I've not been able to explore as much, is the custom subclasses that I've been working on with that. And so now that I'm going to be a player in a campaign, I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. So I asked the GM, hey, can I run a couple of them by you? What do you, would you allow me to play test them in your game? And he said yes. So I'm very excited to see how that goes. And I've only played this class once, maybe twice in one shots. But I've certainly never played a campaign setting. I'm going to be playing a wizard.
Ooh, that's fun.
So that's going to be very interesting with this custom subclass. So it's going to be fun.
I love that.
Yeah. And I pledged $5 for Nicole's book.
Oh, you did too? I did too.
Yep. Yes, good job.
Jared, did you do
Excellent.
that too?
I mean, of course. I explained this to Nicole earlier, but I literally opened Instagram. Her video was at the top of my page, and she got 10 or 15 words into her video, and I closed it and went and pledged on Kickstarter. Then had to go back and listen to the video to see what I actually signed up for.
Did you read the part?
That's what I did too. When I saw that.
Sorry, Jeff. Say that again.
Did you read the part about signing over your soul to her?
Yeah, but I figured, fine print, details, whatever.
It's fine.
I've spent worse money,
Yeah, she's gonna have to get in a legal battle with Liquid Death. I already signed it over to theirs first. So.
Fair Fair. Oh man.
It's like the blind trust. I love it.
Look, we've gotten this far in and we haven't been shut down by people, and our show is still somehow successful with our viewers. So we're just going to keep going, and it's just going to get weird and wild. And I personally love it. I think it's hilarious. Man, y'all are doing some cool stuff too. Like, I am so. I had a question. Jared, you GM'd. Was that your first time GMing professionally?
So I mean, professionally would be, quotation marks. The way I got connected with the Goshen and Dragons group was at an event last fall. I believe it was last November. And so I DM'd then, and that was my first time then DMing like for a random, public group.
Yeah.
So kind of, it was a lot of fun. When I did it last November, I actually ran the Delian Tomb, which I have like full terrain for. It is the story that Matt Colville wrote in his How to Be a GM series like years ago, like maybe a decade ago at this point. So that was really fun. But then this time it was a fully homebrewed, like I described earlier, took place in our local antique store. The caveat was we had like 20 plus DMs at this event for like over 100 people. And the caveat was all the stories were meant to take place in Goshen, which was the town it was hosted in, and then they could go anywhere from there. So, we had some people that just reskinned it to the kingdom of Goshen. And, myself, I basically just kind of made it like the fictitious, the shopkeeper was a Kanku and other things like that, everything in between. We had one guy running a session that basically looked like it was Overcooked, the video game, where there was just like hordes of, I don't know if they were undead, hordes of people coming in, and the player's job was to basically create and make the dishes and get them out the door, before like combat would ensue. It was definitely one of those events. I realize every time, I get to do the same thing when I talk to you guys. It's one of those things, you sit at home and you're writing your D&D stories. It's like, man, I'm so creative. This is so cool. And then you go talk to other people. They're like, oh, I've got nothing going on.
Nothing here.
So it's like humbling in the best possible way, because you realize like, man, what a creative and incredible community the D&D and, TTRPG space is, because there's so many passionate people that just think wildly different than I ever would. And it's so fun to see. I mean, I could talk about the event for a long time, but it was great. It was wonderful. You have everybody from people who've been playing D&D for, 30, 40 years to people who it's their first time. I had one of the players at my table was actually a mom who had never played or heard of D&D, but she had like a 6 or 7 year old son who was super interested. So she actually came to the event to like try to learn D&D so she could take it home. So I said, boy, do I have the resources for you. And I, told her about your stuff, Nicole. So it's great. It's a great event. A lot of good people. So anyway,
that's awesome.
The long answer for your short question.
No, I just love hearing what you guys do, because it's like, I don't know. I always think, because my D&D circle is pretty small, like locally, and so it's like hearing what everyone else is doing on this like grandeur scale is super cool. I just like hearing what you guys do.
I think that is what is crazy to me, because I think so often we all, in whatever way or capacity we get into D&D, maybe it's a friend that says, hey, you like Lord of the Rings, you should try this with me. Or maybe it's we randomly come across a video, whatever. I think what's cool is so often we all play in our own homes with, 3, 4, 5 people, and we think we're the only ones that really do this. And then you realize as you dig a little deeper, oh, there's all these people all around. And then you dig a little deeper and you realize, oh, 4 of my 7 coworkers actually also secretly play D&D. And, it's one of those things that once you start talking to people about it and being more open about it, you realize like, hey, we all at different levels, we all want and love the same stuff, and it's really cool because, like I said, it's such a diverse community that you have people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all ages. It's just so fun to see. There's very few things that you see all those groups of people coming together for like a joint purpose and just having a good time. It's very refreshing in a day and age that, is questionable at times. It's a lot of fun to be a small part of this incredible community. So it's really neat.
You know what's also super refreshing? The lore that Jared's about to drop. So we'll catch you here in a minute, and Jared's going to hit us with some cool lore. See you in a second.
Since
Hey, welcome
you're
back,
still
guys.
here,
Since you're still here, welcome back. We're the story crafters. Jared's about to drop a little lore nugget on us, and yeah, what you got for us, man?
just first off, I just want to preface this because, like, I just want to talk about it. I have this buttery brew candle here from Firelight, and it is like delicious. Just like it's actually making me hungry because it smells so good. It smells like warm cookies or something. So anyway, I'm distracted. The lore we're going to talk about is the Mirror of Dead Men. Do any of you know what the Mirror of Dead Men is?
No, I want to hear more about this. I feel like it's
All right,
like the
well.
cousin of the Portrait of Dorian Gray.
It's Mere, MERE is how I've learned that it is pronounced. So not a mirror, the Mirror of Dead Men. All right, so the Sword Coast is home to many dark and foreboding places, but few hold as much mystery or as many bones as the Mirror of Dead Men. This sprawling, putrid marshland stretches along the coast between Waterdeep and Neverwinter, a place of stagnant salt waters, treacherous mires, and an eerie silence broken only by the croak of unseen creatures, and perhaps the whispers of the dead. Centuries ago, this land was not a swamp, but a fertile region known as the Delimbir Vale. It was here that the kingdom of Falorm, the realm of Three Crowns, stood, a mighty alliance of elves, dwarves, and humans. But Falorm's strength was not enough to stop the coming storm. In the year of the Battle Horn, 615 DR, an army surged forth from the Sword Mountains led by the terrible Lich Enerv, a once immortal necromancer of immense power. The invasion threatened Waterdeep itself, and so the warriors of Falorm, along with the coalition of the northern forces, marched to meet them in battle. The fighting was brutal, the ground was littered with bodies, and though the defenders fought valiantly, they were slowly pushed back, and then the unthinkable happened. As the battle raged, Enerv called upon his darkest magic and unleashed a devastating curse, one that would drown the battlefield in an unrelenting flood. Rivers overflowed, the land sank beneath the waves, and both armies, friend and foe alike, were swallowed by the rising waters. Thousands perished in an instant, their corpses sinking into the mire. When the waters receded, the land was no longer the same. The verdant fields were gone, replaced by a sprawling, unholy swamp. The dead remained, the restless spirits forever trapped in the marsh that now bore their name, the Mirror of Dead Men. Since that day, the Mirror has remained a place of death and decay where few dare to tread. The waters are dark and treacherous, thick with moss-covered ruins and the remnants of war. The bones of the fallen still rest beneath the murky depths, and at night, ghostly figures are said to rise, their mournful wails carrying across the mist. Beyond the perils that lurk within, the Mirror of Dead Men holds lost ruins and forgotten secrets. The remnants of Falorm's defenses, long since swallowed by the bog, still contain relics of an age gone by. Hidden within the mire are crumbling towers, sunken tombs, and arcane obelisks overgrown with vines. Legends speak of a lost temple, a place of great power buried beneath the waters, perhaps a final holdout of those who tried to resist Enerv's curse, or something far older. Some say treasure lies within. Others warn that things far worse than ghouls stir in the depths. Few who enter the Mirror of Dead Men return unscathed, if they return at all. It is a place where nature has reclaimed the land, where the dead refuse to rest, and where danger waits in every shadow. But for those who seek knowledge, treasure, or the thrill of the unknown, the swamp still calls. After all, the dead may have given it their name, but they never truly left. Yes, sir.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Charlie, I see your hand.
Yes. So I actually raised it right as you started, but I noticed you like switched screens to read what it was, and then
I did
I
indeed
am
do
someone that is always committed to a bit, and I was like, I'm going to keep my hand raised.
I appreciate it.
Yes. You kind of answered it in everything that was in there, but I just want to get clarified if we can. What is
Yeah.
what is a mire? Mirror? What is it?
Yeah, so this is a place on the Sword Coast that I pulled off of the map. It is the Mere of Dead Men. It's MERE, the Mere of Dead Men. And from best I can tell, you pronounce it Mere, MEER, is how it is meant to be.
Okay.
I would have pronounced it Mere because it's MERE, but from what I read in the lore, that is the correct pronunciation, but I would happily be corrected. I always tend to pick these things that have like 3 or 4 things, and I'm like, I have no clue how to actually pronounce this. And, there's very little helpful information on it sometimes. But anyway, I have been listening to the audiobook of the Two Towers, narrated by Andy Serkis. If you're into audiobooks, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And I just recently got to introduce and watch The Lord of the Rings with my children. So I saw this on the map. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Then I started reading about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is it for sure. Because if that's not the Dead Marshes, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it made me think of, was the Dead Marshes. That's
so the Mere, is it a name for a geographical location that is like a marsh, or is it the name native only to the Sword Coast?
That is a great question, of which I don't really know the answer, but I will look it up right now.
So from what the Forgotten Realms fandom has, it was named the Mere of Dead Men, referred to the fallen kingdom during the invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in British English, Mere, pronounced Mer, is a lake, pond, or arm of the sea. So that is perhaps where, upon writing this lore many years ago, where they got the word from. Beyond that, that is what it is named on the map of the Sword Coast.
Cool.
But yeah, it sits right there between Waterdeep and Neverwinter. Looks like a fun spot to go explore.
Heck yeah.
It's also you can visit it apparently in the Hoard of the Dragon Queen adventure.
Oh, there you go. So
That's
hopefully that was no spoilers, because that was all like ancient history. It sounds like it's been the marshland now for many moons. So I apologize if that was spoilers for anybody, but there it is nonetheless.
Little tip for any GMs out there who want to play in these settings. Have your players at some point, they want to do history about the area they're going to go into, and then tell them, yes, you find a local who happens to know quite a bit about the area, and then tell the players, okay, we're going to pause for a second, hold on, pull up our podcast, and then fast forward to this timestamp, and then just let Jared be the NPC that tells them everything about the Mere of the Deadlands.
There are 4 travelers sitting in the tavern. They're telling stories. What are they talking about?
Don't have to do it.
Geographically, it is right on the Sword Coast, right in between Neverwinter and Waterdeep. So if you're ever traversing either north or south, up the high road or down the high road, as it may be, you might find yourself in some unsavory territory. So,
there's apparently a pair of black dragons that have made refuge in the Mere of the Dead that are apparently yeah, it's a pair of black dragons.
I think from what I read, and correct me if I'm misremembering, from what I read, there's like debate as to whether it's one ancient black dragon or if it's actually 2 black dragons.
I was just reading as I scrolled down. It was known as a single dragon. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
Which is, I think, actually why I made the business decision to leave it out of the short story I read, because I go, there's enough words in here I'm already going to butcher that I'm just going to leave the name of the black dragon out.
Cool. This is such a cool zone. There's like doppelgangers that like hang out everywhere, like
Yeah.
posing to like it's just like lore
Listen,
traveling.
if
That's
much like where all good things come from, much of this information I pulled from the Forgotten Realms wiki.
It's
But
so
man,
good.
if you're ever bored and just want a good read, just like literally pull up a map of Faerun or the Sword Coast and just like zoom in and pick something and go to the Forgotten Realms wiki and just read about it, because my gosh, the lore is just beautiful.
So
There's
good.
lore and history for everything, because it is
Put it
all
on a- just throw a dart.
intersected. It might not be in a main 5e adventure module, but it's come up at some point.
Yeah.
And it is very inspiring to read through things.
Last episode, we rolled our favorite third-party content, and I got super excited about that. I hope you guys did, because I'm excited to hear what you guys think is really cool. So before we get into that, are there any last lore little... is that a 4-piece nugget there? You make it a 5-piece combo on that. Like...
Who serves a 5-piece? It's 4 or 6, man. That's all I got. All of that, of course, is brought to you by Firelight Fables candles. Best candles in the business. They right now, which will probably be over by the time this episode's out, have an awesome sale right now. Which has not been great for my wallet, because all of their candles are so good that I'm just like, oh, well, I don't have that. Yeah, I might as well get that one too. Oh, yeah, well, might as well get that one. And actually sitting right next to me, I have a box that has like 6 candles and a bunch of tea lights in it that I still have to even like open up and smell all of them. But it's like every single time I light a candle, I'm like, surely a candle's not going to smell better than that. And then I do the next one. I'm like, there it is, So
I actually have
anyway,
to order some too, because my forbidden forest is running dangerously low.
yeah, there you go. Now is a great time.
Do an order.
I know we're talking about Firelight Fables, but that sounded like such a euphemism for something.
Anyways,
use code StoryCrafters for 15% off your next purchase at firelightfables.com.
Anyways, hey, we are back, and we are talking about our favorite third-party content. What you guys got, Jared?
Yeah,
what you got, dude?
So I hawed around a lot about this, and I almost went a lot of different directions, and then I kind of came to the realization that I probably should just talk about the thing that I realized I've used maybe in the last 6-7 D&D sessions, just from a small indie company called Kobold Press. I don't know if anybody's heard of Kobold Press. They just have a few books here and there. Anyway, one of their more recent things is the Tome of Beasts, Volume 1. It has over 400 monsters in it, and I find I am not intentionally, but they are all so good that I'm almost exclusively using the monsters from that book in my campaigns lately, just because they're so fun. They just have fresh takes on so many classic creatures that just kind of shift them a little bit, and make them really unique. There's one that's a void dragon, and it ties directly into themes of cosmic horror and stuff. That's really fun, and I really, really love as a DM when you can throw a monster at your players that they can recognize, but they also have no clue what's really happening. And I love that for them. There's a few others. I'm trying to remember some that I've used in my games. One that I just recently used is a lake troll, which is essentially a troll, but just slightly reflavored with some different actions and things. And the actions are very unique for many of their monsters, on top of the artwork. And I wish I would have done the research to see who actually did the artwork for them. I apologize. We'll try to put that in the show notes. Is just beautiful. The lake troll is one that I've used. There's a few other. Some of them they have the great massive monsters, but they also just have some really low CR monsters. One that I keep trying to find a way to work in is a rum gremlin, which is quite literally what it sounds like. It's just a little gremlin that's just like back in the storeroom chugging down the bottles of rum and stuff, which I think is so fun. And it's like, it's not going to be a big combat or anything, but it's just fun thematically.
Yeah.
So I really like the book for that. The other book I wanted to mention, it's something that I found when I started writing and DMing my seafaring campaign, is Captains and Cannons, and it is by Drifter's Game Workshop. It is like not perfect, but it's worked really well for me and my table. It fits right in with the 5e rules, and it is a supplement for all of your seafaring needs. It talks about ship combat, how to handle those, gives a lot of examples of scenarios and combats and what those look like with environment turns and ship actions and all those things. And for me as a new DM, having my players board a ship, it was huge for me to just take the stress off of me, because you have the idea of I'm going to have my players be at sea, and then you realize, what does that logistically even look like?
Right,
so Captain's Cannons was a huge help for me. So yeah, that's what I have.
Bye-bye.
Nicole polymorph.
The ship faring, that like pirate setting stuff that you used. There isn't enough pirates in D&D, I think. We need more pirates.
Agreed.
I've never run a pirate game, but who doesn't love pirates? Like,
that's I really thought starting this again, I'm like a year and a half and 30 plus sessions into this, and admittedly much of my players' time has been on land, where truly it runs functionally the same as any traditional D&D story would. They're pirates, so sure, some of the like morality choices and things they make is definitely more in the like gray area, which was our intention going in, of like, hey, you can be the good guys, you can kind of be the bad guys, and ideally we fit right in that kind of morally gray, because you're pirates. Like that's historically kind of what they were. They weren't all wicked, vile, maybe predominantly they might have been, but adventurers upon the high seas. And I thought that at a certain point maybe I would get tired of it, but every time my players get to their ship and like just sail, it just like fills me with so much joy. And there's just endless possibilities, like there's just so much fun. And a couple one of my players just had their second child, and so they're taking a break for a few months, and it is the perfect, as a DM, it is the perfect, like, that players are just on the ship, and it's so simple, it's so easy, not like, hey, I know we're venturing through the mountaintops, where's that player? It's so easy to just say they're on the ship, which is great, because it's kind of like and fail safe for if somebody can't make it, if somebody needs to take a break, if somebody needs to step away. Super simple of there they are, So
alternatively, if you need to get rid of somebody, they fell off the ship. Easy.
Exactly right.
Man, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Nicole, what about you?
All right. Well, in my typical branded fashion, I'm gonna show and talk about a kid third-party content. I will say my favorite is my own, but it's not available yet. So y'all gotta wait till probably the end of 2025 to get the Adventures in Etheria third-party content from Game Master Mom. But while you're waiting for that, if you have kids that you want to play with, Hero Kids is definitely my favorite of all the third-party kids. I guess technically it's not Dungeons and Dragons, but it basically is, right? But it's a great tabletop role-playing game for kids from Hero Forge Games. Justin Holiday is the author. He's really cool. It's a great game. It comes with like this whole book, which I guess people listening can't see, but this whole book is just like adventures. This is a 225 page book of adventures that are really easy to run. and you get a digital PDF that comes with it where you can just print off like the maps and the little foldable minis that you can
Nice.
put on the table. So
That's
it's
really
really
cool.
just like a whole package that even if you don't have minis, you don't have maps, you don't even have like dry erase stuff like that, you can just buy Hero Kids and start running it with very little prep with your kids. And the adventures are super fun. They're very like kid age appropriate. They feel very Dungeons and Dragons-y. Like there's always, you know, I think the first one is called like Basement of Rats or something like that. And it's like, you know, oh, you go into the tavern and the tavern keep's son has been taken, and then you explore where he's been taken, and it's just like a big rat den under the tavern, right? So it feels very D&D or very like Skyrim kind of esque as far as the world. And I just love it. It's a really good content that I think is not advertised and not hyped up enough for how good it is.
I
That's
definitely
so
have to check
fun.
that out.
I think
I'm gonna
that's
start to do that with Eli, so I'll definitely be picking that stuff up.
Yeah.
Like I'll look at that one specifically.
Yeah, I think I got
think
mine
that's-
on Drive-Thru RPG.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the beauty of D&D to me, is like you can adapt almost anything. You know, like Nicole, I love you. You know, you print the My Little Ponies. You know, I love that there's like RPGs for that, or if there's not, like it's easy to adapt things into D&D, and you know, throw some dice into anybody's hands, and you know, you can get rolling and just go with it. I think that's so much fun. If anybody's ever on the fence about wanting to play D&D or tabletop games with your kids, just try it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna kind of springboard off of the whole rat thing. I have a joke at work that I'm just one evolution above a sewer rat. And so I am going to also jump off. Mine is a one-shot by a brilliant author, and by brilliant, I hope that everything else that they do or he does is very good. A one-shot by Richard Jensen Parks by the name of A Most Potent Brew. And
Nice.
it is one of the best one-shots that I have ever played in, for one thing, and run probably about 7 times.
Wow.
It is a great point. It's a stereotypical, there is a inn tavern thing that this barkeep basically is like, hey, I need help for some reason. We have a rat infestation, but it's like super scary. Can you figure out what's going on? And it's got all sorts of traps and puzzles, and you're like how to GM things. It's perfect for intro GMs, perfect for intro players. It's got, like I said, it's got traps, it's got puzzles, it has a big boss, it has a potential TPK if you're not careful, and it's fun, and it's really good. It's scalable too. It's a 4-room dungeon, really not that bad. You can run it in 2.5 hours. And it's just, if you're like in a spot where you're like, man, I don't know what to do, everywhere has got a basement in D&D. You know, and the other thing too that I like about it is it gives you like maps too. So you can see what everything looks like. For the puzzles, it has printouts for your players too, which I don't have with me. But then it also gives you the stat blocks for the custom monsters that are in it, that are in the back. And it's free. So, or you can donate to Richard on Drive-Thru RPG, or that's where I get all my stuff from. But it's super cool, and I love it because, like I said, it's one of those adventures that you can just kind of mod to different things. I've run it at a 10th level. I've just taken the concept of it, changed a monster or 2 here and there, and just run with it because I needed something to do. yeah, it's just really good.
If I haven't run that one, I was really close. If I'm not mistaken, I think Richard Jansen Parks, correct? That's the author. I'm pretty confident that they are also the author who wrote Wild Sheep Chase, which is another just
Yes, I think so.
top tier, one of the most fun
so
one shots I've ever been a part of. I'm pretty confident that it's by the same person because I remember debating back and forth between the two.
Yes, that is such a good one.
It's so much fun.
Let me see here. The Sheep Chase. I thought I had that.
Yeah, Wild Sheep Chase. Anyway, I've looked into that.
Yeah, that's the one with the. That's the one. As to prevent spoilers, I'll bleep it out in the editing. But that's the one with the goat that's been polymorphed, right?
Yeah.
So all the audience is going to hear is just a beep, but if you're watching it, you'll see us talking and everything. Anyways, yeah, two fantastic one shots. I highly recommend them.
It's so fun. I love a good one shot. Sometimes it's just like the best palate cleanser. Like you said, I think more people should do what you described. And if you're not sure what to do mid-session, take that and adapt it. And
I think I've said
throw it into a basement.
I think I've said it before on this show. Good DMs create, great DMs steal. Steal and adapt.
Yeah.
Like everything. It's so hard to be original these days too. Why don't you hit the grand slam here on your favorite third-party content?
So there's a lot of really awesome third-party content out there, and there's a big movement towards big embracing of third-party content for TTRPGs. But I thought, instead of going into some of my favorites overall, I thought this would be a really cool opportunity to talk about some of the really cool ones that I got to encounter at GaryCon recently. And so, I'll put all the info. I'm not going to give each of them their due diligence because I don't have all the time in the world and I can't cast time stop. So I'm going to do my best to give a little abbreviation for each one, but we'll put all the info in the show notes. But first and foremost, right here, The Kingdom of Keshnar by Orthane Productions. They have been hard at work on The Kingdom of Keshnar, which is a Kickstarter that will have already launched by the time we get to this, April 8th. But it's the world's most expansive ancient Egypt-inspired 5e compatible setting and campaign. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they've got actual, professors and people with doctorate degrees contributing to this. They've put so much effort into it. I mean, the artwork is incredible, as illustrated by there. And then one of my favorite monsters they're introducing, a sand dragon. Look at that. So cool. But yeah, Kingdom of Keshnar, super excited. Definitely going to be back in that come April 8th. But yes, definitely a really, really cool one that can't talk enough about. Another one that some people may be familiar with, they're a good friend of ours, the wonderful author Morgan Dangerfield, Heroes of Evermore. So this was at GaryCon as advertised by a wonderful flyer and table. I don't know what the name of that is, but a little thing that sat on the table advertising it and a copy of the book. So I ordered mine off Amazon while I was there and participated. Morgan does some random giveaways sometimes if you post selfies with the book. So I did so to help support it. But it's also just Heroes of Evermore. It's a really great setting, really great actual play series that he's doing. And they've got this wonderful book that's called Heroes of Evermore, An Unlikely Gathering. And essentially, it's a really nice, easy to read, and very satisfying read. 92 pages. And it's all about an unlikely gathering. One of the first groups that came together in the Heroes of Evermore setting that Morgan ran. And kind of an overview of that and what their sessions and everything turned out to be. So it's really cool. It's very unique. Got some great little bits of artwork and pictures of some of the stuff they had in game. but really awesome. Highly recommend. Next one on the list.
I'll second that one. I want to second Heroes of Everywhere. I love that book. Morgan's book is so good.
This is Hamill's House of Oddities by Sleeping Giant Gaming. They have this wonderful, wonderful campaign and lore setting that is in 2 books from 2 different perspectives. Beautifully written, masterfully edited. I got a chance to go through it with the very gentleman who wrote both books and did the editing himself. And it is so well done and so professional. I mean, it looks at first glance like a novel that you would get from some of the greats like Stephen King. But it then presents itself content-wise as a campaign and lore setting. And again, from 2 different perspectives. It's absolutely fascinating. But here is another piece of artwork, and I'll tell you about. You can go to their website at sleepinggiantgaming.com, and you can get their collector's edition storage box. And I got to, again, handle this stuff in person. It was one of the most high-quality third-party settings, materials that I've seen. But they have this incredible, like, leather and canvas map and region, and I got to talk to the artist, who's actually the daughter of the author, who did this very artwork and other things. She's incredibly talented. So talented, mind you. While I was talking to her, a very kind gentleman walked up to us and said, "This artwork is absolutely phenomenal." And we turn around, and it's Larry frickin' Elmore. For those that don't know, one of the original and amazing artists and illustrators for D&D. What an absolute legend. And he was over here admiring her artwork. So if that doesn't speak enough credit to it. But yeah, and they have these really cool magnetic tokens. Their collector's edition even has 160 handouts and various wooden stands. A really, really cool storyteller screen. So their version of a GM screen. And a custom D20. But, and the other thing, their campaign and setting books are over 650 pages. So, Hamill's House of Oddities.
Wow.
Highly recommend that.
Wow.
A lot of work has gone in. And the 2 books that are in there, my understanding is there's still a whole other 3rd book that is currently being finalized and play tested that the author is working on. So. Now, another thing that was also very cool while I was there, there is a wonderful thing at Gary Con, a great little tradition known as Gary Con Rings by the very talented John Hobson, a metalsmith. And that's it.
Man, that is a lot of third-party content. I hope that we can get that noted down properly.
Oh, yes. I will do so.
Man. What an episode, guys. That was chock full of... I have no idea how long this one's going to be. We just hit 2 hours of recording, but that's normally with about like 30 to 45 minutes of just stuff kind of thrown in there.
We did have 30 minutes of nonsense.
That was fun. I was looking forward to recording and talking to y'all and seeing what you guys have been up to, but...
Yeah, y'all brought some great stuff. I love all this. Like, I feel like I need to go fill my cart with good content.
I know, like, it's like we just got paid, and I was like, man, let me go burn my paycheck again one more time.
Either the best timing or the worst timing.
Jeff, this at least though you don't have to pay for. I'm definitely gonna lend it to you. I think you'll.
Yeah, I need to scoop that from you. And see what's
same thing. This one too. I bought this copy too, so this is mine.
Yeah,
if you want that.
Well, who's going to roll here on our next topic for the episode 9? Who wants to roll?
Listen,
100.
I think that I did last time, but I forgot to talk about this in my What Have I Been Up To? My birthday was last week.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife got me this awesome new watch by Time Stop, and it's called the Time Stop D20. And I can press these fancy little buttons here, and I can roll any dice on my watch.
Stop.
What?
I know, right? I know, and it's.
That's not a thing.
You can't see it super well. Time Stop. Look them up on Instagram. It's awesome.
All right. Well, what's the roll?
So let me just roll 2d10 here. So the first one's going to be the first digit, and
Okay, note, leave this in. Like, we need to include this in the show notes as well. This is how we're rolling for it from now on, because this is awesome.
So that's a 97. 97 is the number
97.
rolled on my time stop D20. This is the stainless steel one. It's would recommend.
Man,
So 97.
awesome.
What do we got?
97. What's the topic?
Yeah.
And did we already roll a 97?
That's a great question.
We rolled if I remember correctly, I think we rolled something close, like a 94 or something. Yeah. But this one is going to be character death.
Oh.
Yes, character and player death. That'll be a fun one.
Then.
Big part of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Some games it doesn't happen at all. Some it's rare, and some happens too many.
Yeah.
So
That'll be a good thing to talk about. It's very daunting.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, honestly, that I was most worked up about when I started DMing was like, how's this going to happen? So that'll be exciting to talk about. So
yeah. Already got some ideas in the brain tank there, but man, well, you'll just have to find out what's going on next episode. Next time we all get together, we're going to talk about character death. From all of us at the Storycrafters, thank you so much for your continued support. We love you. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.